Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. The pre-IPO share price of Ripple has surged dramatically, and it has some people questioning, okay, does somebody know something about the end, perhaps, of this SEC v. Ripple case? That's what some are speculating. I'm going to share with you what I think, but here's the headline on the topic from the Crypto Basic. They're talking about Ben Armstrong here. BitBoy uncovers Ripple private share price surge of 60%, hints at legal victory. And, it's also interesting seeing this at the same time that we've been seeing, not a perfect overlap, but just in a general sense, just tremendous price action for XRP, in particular when you compare it to what's been happening to Bitcoin in terms of price action in broader crypto markets. XRP's been up substantially in recent weeks. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, at the time that I'm recording this video, the price of XRP is 53 cents, and what I have on your screen here is a 7-day chart. So this week for crypto in general has been absolutely disastrous, with the SEC suing both Binance and Coinbase. And so you can see, for those of you that are looking at your screen where I'm circling right here, there was this drop in the price of XRP, but that was because of those SEC actions. But, leading up to this point, I mean, if you just look at here, I'll pull up a 30-day price chart. It's just been trending upwards. And this is not what most 30-day charts for most cryptos looks like right now. And so I've long asserted that. I think the reason that this is happening is because people are just confident in the outcome of this case, which is why I actually tweeted out the following this morning. I wrote, "It's so fascinating seeing XRP hover near 54 cents in the face of all the serious attacks on crypto this week by the SEC. That's a huge vote of confidence by XRP holders the world over that Judge Torres is going to come to the right conclusion." And I do firmly believe that. I think that the primary driver, by a large degree, in terms of XRP price action to the upside, is resulting from people, which is probably most of you listening. I mean, I think most of us are really optimistic, even if Ripple technically loses, in terms of getting that clarity for XRP. I think most of us really are that positive, are optimistic that we're going to get a positive outcome here. Because if not, you explain the surge to me then. When the rest of crypto isn't doing so hot, but in recent weeks, for last month, XRP's been on fire compared to just about everything else. Yeah. So this is a vote of confidence from XRP holders the world over. But it's interesting on top of that is, even though I firmly believe that, I also firmly believe that most people, when it comes to investing, if you're talking about typical retail speculators, they do a bit of follow the leader. They're like little retail lemmings out there. So once the news breaks, if it's positive specifically for XRP, can you imagine the number of humans on a global scale that are going to jump into XRP? And that's why I also wrote after that, I don't think Ripple necessarily needs a technical win. As long as crypto market participants view the outcome as something allowing XRP to exist, especially regarding secondary market transactions, I think that's all that we'll need in order to see XRP price respond favorably. So as it pertains to the share price of Ripple, which you can buy in the United States if you're an accredited investor, meaning that you need to have a net worth of at least $1 million, not including your primary residence, and or you need to have made, if you're single, at least $200,000 for each of the last couple years, and you need to be on pace to do that for the current year, the third year. So that's almost 0% of humans in the United States have the ability to purchase. And I love bitching up a storm about that because I think it's garbage that daddy government thinks that you're too stupid for your own good when it comes to making financial decisions. And it's interesting though. Like, some people are too stupid for their own good. That's life. But you don't take my stance is you don't take away freedom from people who aren't stupid, because there are some people who are stupid. You just have sufficient disclosures, put it all out there, and then let people have the freedom to make their own investment decisions. But the government, not exactly thrilled about that. But for the people who are accredited investors, good for them for sure, and I do mean that. It's not their fault that this is happening. But yeah, it looks like there's been a dramatic move in the price of pre-IPO shares of Ripple, the company. And I'll tell you, even before diving into this thing, I'll just tell you, it's my personal opinion, and so again, also not financial advice, but my strong suspicion is that the price of Ripple even here is substantially undervalued. That would be my guess. But anyway, piece reads as follows. Crypto influencer BitBoy unveils explosive insights on the Ripple lawsuit as Ripple's private shares surge on Link2, indicating insider knowledge. In a recent YouTube video, famous crypto influencer Ben Armstrong, also known as BitBoy Crypto, revealed explosive insights into the ongoing Ripple lawsuit and its potential implications for investors. And he tweeted out the following. I've just gained info on a huge finding that may hint towards the end of the long-standing SEC v. Ripple lawsuit. In this video, I detail everything you need to know and what it could mean for XRP. Piece continues. While arguing that Ripple's case with the U.S. regulatory has already been decided based on insider information, Armstrong pointed to a significant development involving Ripple's private shares on Link2. And obviously, that's a broken sentence. See, when it comes to crypto media, it's a bunch of C students, so they should have written, U.S. regulatory agency. They just wrote U.S. regulatory. How's that U.S. regulatory? Okay. Thank you, C students. I love you. Anyway, piece continues. Notably, Link2 is a platform that offers investors the opportunity to purchase shares of a firm before its intended initial public offering. According to BitBoy, Link2 has already acquired private equity shares of Ripple through stock options purchased from former advisors and company team members. Yeah, and I'll just pause to note, and I think a lot of you are aware of this, but Link2 has been offering shares of Ripple, the company, for a number of years. I don't remember exactly how long it's been going on, but I mean, I've certainly been aware of them and mentioned them from time to time as they've been relevant as it pertains to Ripple and XRP and crypto-related news. Piece continues. He highlighted similar opportunities that have existed in the past, with private shares of prominent companies like Coinbase, Robinhood, and SoFi being available for purchase before their respective public listings. Yeah, so, and that's obviously true. There's all sorts of, historically, there have been all sorts of opportunities, pre-IPO opportunities, for accredited investors, who just means people that have a much higher net worth or make more money than almost everybody else in the United States. It's pretty much it. And then you, if you're one of those people, you have the opportunity to get in early and pay less than when presumably a stock price might be at the time of initial public offering. But the poor people don't get to have that financial opportunity. Anyway, piece continues. BitBoy shared screenshots provided by Joey Swole, a TikTok user familiar with private share prices, showcasing a recent remarkable increase in Ripple's share price. Within just 1 week, Ripple private shares on Link2 witnessed a surge from a value of $35 observed on June 1st to a price of $56. This marked a 60% increase within 7 days. Yes, and so I will pause to note, I actually happened to, in a separate video, have mentioned that when I was talking about a different topic. It's the video where, if you guys caught it, it's the one where I was talking about the what might be a reasonable valuation for Ripple, the company. And so I noted that that's what it was listed as at the time, about $35. So jumping up to $56. Actually, technically, it got up to $63, but regardless, that's a big jump. And so it looks to me like the accredited investors that are purchasing Ripple at Link2, they're treating this the same way that investors globally are treating XRP. They just think that this is going to be worth an absolute fortune in the future, and that it's supremely undervalued. And I gotta admit, I'm of the same mindset. I think that all of this stuff is supremely undervalued. Doesn't mean that we can't have disastrous price action if we get a bad ruling from Judge Torres. I do think that could happen. That could be a complete disaster in the short term, at least. Though, even if that does occur, I'm still optimistic that a higher court would fix the problem. But, man, I just hope it doesn't come to it, because, I mean, you're talking about could be another few years out. Who knows how long it would take. You've seen how long this case has taken, over 2.5 years. It's not even done yet. So anyway, and the piece continues. Consequently, the total Ripple valuation surged from $5.7 billion to $9 billion. The screenshot from BitBoy showed that the share price surged to $63 as confirmed by an investor yesterday. Yeah, so again, whether it's $5.7 billion or now the surge all the way up to $9 billion, I think that's nothing. don't be surprised if Ripple, the company, ends up having a valuation well over $100 billion. I mean, maybe that's even low. I'm not sure. I'm not going to make a prediction. I'm not so bold as to make a prediction. But I just think with the state of things right now, it's kind of a no-brainer conclusion that unless things go disastrously in court, I mean, everything is going to be worth way more in the future, whether you're talking about Ripple stock or XRP specifically. And then they have this little subheading here, a favorable end to the SEC lawsuit. Here we get into a little bit of speculation here. The crypto influencer argued that these price movements are particularly significant when considered against recent negative actions taken by U.S. regulators against major exchanges. Yeah, so on that point, I firmly agree. I've been pointed out a number of times recently because it is astonishing. Look at all of the scare action here that's been happening with the SEC trying to obliterate crypto, and then people, when it comes to pre-IPO shares of Ripple or comes to XRP itself, we're like, yeah, we're still going to buy it. And that is what's happening. Piece continues. He speculated that the surge in Ripple's private share price could indicate two possible scenarios. Either XRP will be relisted on Coinbase, or insiders possess undisclosed information suggesting a favorable outcome for Ripple in the ongoing SEC lawsuit. All right, so this is where the fun speculation begins, and I would love to hear what all of you think in the comment section below. I'll tell you what I think here. As far as the idea of this price action being an indication that XRP is going to be relisted on Coinbase, or insiders possessing undisclosed information about a favorable outcome in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit, I personally am not convinced that's the case. I really do think it's people just placing their bets, as there's been positive news recently. Go back to March, you saw with the Daubert motions when Judge Torres made a ruling on that. That's the expert testimony stuff. Price of XRP began moving to the upside. Then with the ruling on the Hinman stuff, again, you saw that, and then price began moving to the upside here. People are placing their bets. The Hinman stuff, it's going to be coming out by June 13th, and then there's a strong expectation that the case is going to end shortly thereafter. And I think that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. I think that explains just about all of it. So as far as this idea of potentially there being insider information, well, typically if there's insider information, then it's a select few individuals that would be aware of such, and then they would make their moves that they want to illegally and reap the benefits if they're not caught, right? But they don't go telling everybody under the sun, causing a dramatic move in the global price of XRP itself, or in the case of Ripple, a dramatic price, a jump in price, to the tune of whatever it was. They said 60% here in this article. And admittedly, I don't know what the volume is on Link2, so like how easily, I mean, it wouldn't just be Link2, but I don't know what the volume is in terms of pre-IPO shares of Ripple. So if it's not very liquid, there's almost no volume, then okay, I'd be willing to hear that case. But if that's not the case, I just find it very, I mean, either way, I find it difficult to believe, because again, if that were the case and it leaked out to the point where everybody knows it, and then it's just going, why haven't we heard that? Why haven't we heard the actual news and where that's coming from? So I am admittedly a bit skeptical of that, but either way, I do think that it's really positive. So you guys let me know what you think. That's just my personal humble opinion. But if anything does come out proving that, then hey, happy to be proven wrong. I just am highly skeptical that that's the case. It looks to me like people are just placing their bets before the big decision comes on down. And there's no shortage of people like myself who are optimistic that this is going to be very good for XRP specifically, and probably good for Ripple. Because frankly, even if Ripple loses, which is more likely than XRP not having a favorable outcome, in my opinion anyway, even if Ripple loses on some technicality, I don't think that's something that's going to destroy the company. Like, there's no fraud here, obviously. SEC isn't even alleging fraud. So even if Ripple technically loses, what happens? They pay a fine, and then XRP's just fine anyway. And, could the SEC even successfully attack ODL transactions? Because, if anything, I've always said that if the SEC is going to have any success going after Ripple's XRP transactions, the programmatic sales, which, by the way, they halted, I think, in 2019, those would be the ones that would be easier to convince a judge and jury of, passing the Howey test, meaning it's a security. Because then you're talking about specific transactions. But when you're talking about ODL, which clearly is just for utility purposes, that's harder. But the programmatic sales, which they halted years ago, I'm not saying that they would or wouldn't be found to pass the Howey test. I'm just saying that would be an easier argument to make if you're the SEC. So anyway, that's why I'm looking at it. You guys tell me. I'll wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.